The mess hall at Forward Operating Base Iron Ridge was loud, crowded, and thick with the smell of burned coffee and overcooked eggs. Steel trays clanged against metal counters. Boots scraped concrete. Laughter, insults, and half-finished war stories echoed off the walls. It was a place where rank blurred, where exhaustion dulled manners, and where egos often walked louder than sense. She stood out immediately, not because she demanded attention, she didn't. Not because she wore decorations. Her uniform was clean, stripped of flair, her sleeves rolled with quiet precision. She stood out because of how calm she was. Because of the way she scanned the room without appearing to look at anything at all. Lieutenant Commander Ava Cross moved like someone who had learned long ago that survival depended on awareness, not volume. Most didn't recognize her. A few did, and kept their mouths shut. She had arrived at Iron Ridge less than 24 hours earlier. No grand announcement, no formation, no speeches, just a quiet transfer order stamped top priority in a single line that mattered. Assumes command of SEAL Team 7 effective immediately. But the mess hall wasn't a briefing room. And some Marines hadn't gotten the memo. A group of infantry Marines occupied a long table near the center, laughing too loudly, their voices fueled by boredom and bravado. One of them, a corporal built like a brick wall with a buzz cut and a chip on his shoulder, leaned back in his chair as Ava passed behind him. She didn't bump him, didn't look at him, didn't slow down. That irritated him. "Hey," he muttered. No response. He turned, eyes narrowing. "Hey, don't ignore me." Still nothing. Then he did it. He reached out and grabbed her ponytail, yanking it just hard enough to make a point. The mess hall went quiet in stages. First the nearby tables, then the far ones, then the entire room. Ava stopped. Slowly, deliberately, she turned. Her eyes locked onto his, not angry, not shocked, just cold. "FCK off," she said calmly. The corporal laughed. "Oh, we got attitude," he sneered. "Didn't your mother teach you manners?" Around the room, SEALs froze. They knew. They all knew. Chief Petty Officer Ryan Hale lowered his fork. Someone whispered, "Oh no." Ava set her tray down. Gently. "You've got exactly 3 seconds," she said, her voice even, "to apologize, step back, and sit down." The Marine scoffed. "Or what?" She moved. In one fluid motion, she twisted his wrist, stepped inside his balance, and slammed him face first onto the table. The impact rattled trays. His breath left his lungs in a sharp gasp. Before anyone could react, she had him pinned, knee in his spine, arm locked at an angle that made even seasoned fighters wince. "I warned you," she said quietly into his ear. The entire mess hall stood frozen. Then a voice cut through the silence. "That's enough." Ava released him and stood. 4 men approached. SEAL officers, senior, decorated. The corporal's grin returned, until he saw their insignia. One of them stepped forward. "Lieutenant Commander Cross," he said respectfully, "welcome to Iron Ridge." The room exploded into whispers. The Marine went pale. "Commander," he stammered. Ava didn't look at him again. "Get him out of my mess hall," she said. "And remind your people, rank isn't always loud." She picked up her tray. And walked away. Part 2. The Commander. The battlefield didn't care about reputations. 3 nights later, SEAL Team 7 was bleeding. Pinned down in a valley choked with smoke and tracer fire, they had walked straight into a coordinated ambush. High ground lost. Comms damaged. 2 operators wounded. Enemy fire relentless and precise. No air support. No drones. No way out. Chief Hale wiped blood from his face and keyed the radio. Again. 7 actual. This is 7-2. We're boxed in. Static answered. Then her voice came through. Calm, sharp, unshaken. Copy. 7-2. Hold your positions. Ava Cross stood in the Tactical Operations Center, eyes locked on a digital map, calculating angles, distances, probabilities. Then she smiled. "Patch me to Razor 1. A pause. Then disbelief. "Commander," the comms officer said carefully, "Razor 1 is an A-10 pilot." "I know," Ava replied. "She's the one I want." Minutes later, a familiar voice crackled through. "Well, I'll be damned," the pilot said. "Didn't think I'd hear from you again, Cross." Ava leaned closer to the mic. "Still owe me a favor, Hawk." A pause. Then laughter. For you, always. High above the valley, the A-10 roared into existence like an angry god. The enemy never saw it coming. The first strike shattered the ridge line. The second silenced the machine gun nests. The third opened a corridor through hell itself. SEAL Team 7 surged forward. Ava didn't watch the explosions. She watched her people, every movement, every heartbeat. When the team emerged from the smoke, alive, battered, victorious, there was no cheering. Just respect. Later, back at Iron Ridge, the same Marine stood at attention, head bowed. I was out of line, ma'am, he said. I didn't know. Ava studied him for a moment. No, she said. You didn't. She stepped past him. Next time, she added, remember, heroes don't always look the way you expect. That night, as the base settled into uneasy quiet, SEAL Team 7 gathered outside the command building. No speeches, no ceremony. Chief Hale raised a mug. To the commander, he said. Ava Cross said nothing. She didn't need to. She had already proven who she was, in the mess hall, and on the battlefield. The battlefield victory should have been the end of it. It wasn't. 3 days after the Valley extraction, Lieutenant Commander Ava Cross was summoned. Not to the operations center, not to a briefing room, but to legal affairs. That alone set alarms ringing. SEAL Team 7 felt it immediately. Operators who had survived firefights without blinking now exchanged quiet looks. Rumors moved faster than classified intel. Someone filed a complaint, Chief Hale muttered. About what? Another SEAL asked. Hale's jaw tightened. The mess hall. The charge. The Marine corporal stood stiffly before the reviewing officers, his face carefully neutral. His commanding officer spoke for him. Measured, political, rehearsed. Unnecessary force, the officer said. Conduct unbecoming. Abuse of authority. The words hung heavy in the room. Ava Cross stood alone at the opposite side. No medals. No war stories. No emotional defense. Just facts. She didn't interrupt. Didn't justify. Didn't apologize. When it was her turn, she spoke calmly. He initiated physical contact. I ended it. No lasting injury. No escalation. No witnesses harmed. One of the reviewing officers leaned forward. You could have reported it instead of engaging. Ava met his eyes. Sir, if I hesitate every time discipline is tested, people die when it matters. Silence. The room wasn't hostile, but it wasn't friendly either. The hearing ended without a verdict. Which was worse? The consequence. 2 hours later, orders came down. SEAL Team 7 was reassigned. Not pulled. Not punished. Reassigned. A routine mission, far from air support, deep in contested territory. The kind of mission that didn't make headlines, and sometimes didn't bring people back. The message was clear. Prove it again. That night, Ava stood alone outside the command building, helmet under her arm, staring at the dark horizon. The desert wind tugged at her uniform. Chief Hale approached quietly. They're testing you, he said. Ava nodded. I know. You don't have to. Go, he added. You could fight this. She shook her head. No, this is how they decide. The mission. The objective was simple on paper. Too simple. Extract a captured intelligence asset from a compound embedded in mountainous terrain controlled by a hostile militia. No drones. No airstrike authorization unless command approved. And command wasn't answering fast these days. Insertion went clean. Exfil didn't. Halfway out, the valley lit up. IEDs. Mortars. Ambush points perfectly placed. They had been expected. Contact left. Sniper high ridge. Medic hit. Chaos tried to take control. Ava refused to give it permission. She moved through the firefight like she had through the mess hall. Decisive, precise, unshaken. She dragged a wounded operator to cover herself. Returned fire while issuing orders. Redirected the team in real time as terrain collapsed around them. Then the radio crackled. 7 actual, this is command, air support denied. Ava closed her eyes for half a second. Then she opened them. Copy, she replied. We'll handle it. The sacrifice. They were running out of options. And time. The militia was closing in. Ava made a decision no commander ever wants to make. Chief, she said, handing Hale her command tablet, you're taking them out through the East Ravine. Hale's eyes widened. And you? I'll draw them west. That's suicide. She met his stare. So is hesitation. Before anyone could stop her, Ava broke from cover, moving fast, loud, deliberate. She fired, shouted, made herself impossible to ignore. It worked. The enemy followed her. Gunfire tore through rock and air. She moved with controlled aggression, every step calculated, every breath steady. Then, impact. She went down hard. Pain flared white. The world narrowed. The turning point. High above, a familiar sound cut through the chaos. A growl, a scream, a thunderous roar, an A-10. Command hadn't approved it, but someone had made a call anyway. The valley erupted as precision fire annihilated enemy positions. The pressure lifted instantly. SEAL Team 7 escaped, alive. When they found Ava, she was still conscious, bloodied, bruised, but breathing. Hale knelt beside her. "You stubborn son of a..." His voice cracked. "You did it." She smiled faintly. "Team made it." "Yes. Then we're good." The verdict. 2 weeks later. Medical wing. Ava sat upright, arm in a sling, eyes sharp as ever. The same officers entered the room. Different expressions. "The inquiry is closed," the senior officer said. "No disciplinary action will be taken." He paused. "In fact, your command is confirmed permanently." He extended a hand. Ava stood and shook it. Outside, SEAL Team 7 waited. No cheering, no applause, just nods, just respect. The Marine corporal stood among them. He stepped forward. "I was wrong," he said quietly. "About everything." Ava studied him, then nodded once. "Learn from it." She turned to her team. "Gear up," she said. "We've got work." And this time, no one doubted who was in command. If you want to see even better stories like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment, and press the bell icon for more updates.